let's bring in the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy. Mr. Secretary, welcome to you. Thank you so much for coming on. Please do provide our audience an update on this situation, as so many are thinking about their holiday travel plans.
Yeah, so as you just reported, or Jonathan reported, we are going to implement a 10% reduction in flights over the course of the next week. And again, that becomes, that is from the data that we see from our safety team at the FAA. We see additional triggers or stats that are going in the wrong direction. And we want to make sure we take out that pressure from the system and, again, make sure the airspace is safe as Americans travel through it. So, yes, you're going to see more cancellations. We're still going to watch the staffing triggers. What that means is air traffic controllers are calling in sick. That happens in different parts of the country. As that happens, you'll also see additional delays throughout the American airspace. But Sandra, I mean, the problem we really have is air traffic controllers aren't being paid, and they're being forced to take secondary jobs. Again, whether it's waiting tables or driving Uber, instead of coming to towers and doing their day jobs because they're paying for the necessities of their family, food, gas, rent or mortgages. And let's end the shutdown and let's let the Congress debate their issues, but let's not hold the American people hostage and air travelers hostage by the shutdown that's gone on to a historic level right now.
Mr. Secretary, you and I had a good chance to talk to each other here while the president was speaking. We spent some quality time together here. 38 days into this is an unprecedented territory that we're in. And I know that you were at an event, we spoke about this a moment ago, earlier this morning, where you said that it's going to happen, but theoretically, if this continues to roll out day 40, 45, whatever, that you could see those cancellations, the flight reductions go up as high as 20%.
Well, so the controllers have said most of the controllers can navigate missing one paycheck. Virtually none of them can navigate missing two paychecks. That second paycheck comes this Tuesday. And so if this shutdown doesn't end relatively soon, the consequence of that is going to be more controllers don't come to work. And then we're going to have to continue to assess the pressure in the airspace and make decisions that may, again, move us from 10% to 15%, maybe to 20%. I don't want to see that. Or, by the way, if controllers start coming to work and the pressure goes down, we can move those numbers in the other direction. Again, this is a moment-by-moment assessment. Again, doing all we can to make sure travelers are safe as they move through the airspace.
Okay, so we hear that and we say, okay, you're already going to 10. There's the possibility of 15, 20. You don't want it to get there, but it could. And then we think, okay, so then what if it gets to that point, the government reopens, but you've already got all these workers who have gone home, taken other jobs. I mean, they were trained to do this, it took time to get them to that point. I mean, what does it look like once, whenever that is, we're able to reopen the government? What does it look like to try to staff these towers again?
Yeah, so if the government opens tomorrow, which it won't, it doesn't look like, but if it was to open tomorrow, it's going to take us days to assess the controllers coming back into their facilities or their towers. And then once it's safe, we start to move those numbers back down to zero on our required 10%. The problem is the airlines have to then put those flights back out for booking again, right? And so it's going to take some time for the airlines to respond. So once we see more controllers in the towers, then airlines have to respond to that. So it can be days, if not a week, before we get back to full force flights when the shutdown ends.
So even if the government were to open tomorrow, it might not be until next Friday before flights and staffing could get back up to normal. We talk about the stress on air traffic controllers, and it's been long held that one of the most stressful jobs on the planet is being an air traffic controller. We had Nick Daniels, who's the head of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, who says that he enjoys very much working with you here yesterday, sitting in the seat that you're sitting in. And he said this about one of his members. Listen here.
There was a trainee today that before I just left the office to come here, said, I've been evicted. I'm being evicted out of my apartment. I'm supposed to be going to work to train today, but I have 5 days notice to get out of my apartment. And the other air traffic controllers who aren't getting paid are the ones rallying around him right now to try and make sure that his rent's paid so he doesn't have to be evicted.
So you think you're going to air traffic control school because you've talked about the shortage of air traffic controllers and how you're trying to get those folks into the control centers and towers as quickly as possible. And here's a trainee who can't pay his rent.
That's right.
And is trying to scrape together the money to do it as he's thinking about going back to school to learn how to be a controller.
So here's that's what burns me, right? So the American people have seen that we have an old, antiquated air traffic control system, and we don't have enough controllers in our towers. I'm trying to alleviate both of those issues. One, get new equipment, but also bring in more controllers. By the way, we're up 20% of throughput through the academy, more controllers coming into the system. This doesn't help me. If you're a young person thinking about being an air traffic controller, you might be called to do it, but you look at a government shutdown like this, you don't get paid for a month plus, you're going to rethink that career choice. And so it makes it harder for us to recruit. And so as I try to make up that 1,000 to 2,000 controller differential that I'm in right now, I'm short, this makes it more difficult to get the best and the brightest young people to sign up to be air traffic controllers. And again, after the shutdown's over and everyone stops covering it, I'm going to be the one that's still dealing with trying to get young people in to take these great jobs. And by the way, as I mentioned, we don't have the best equipment, but we have the safest, most efficient airspace in the world because we have the best controllers, the best trained controllers. And I'm proud of them. I want more of them to come back to work. But again, the older ones make some good money, but the younger ones, and if you're the sole source of income in your home and you have a child or two at home as well, they really can't make ends meet. And not only that, we have technicians that are keeping this old equipment operational for us as well. They're also coming in without pay. So the stress that this puts on the American system is it's just not worth it. And it begs for me the question, what are we fighting over? What is the issue that Democrats want addressed? It'd be one thing if we knew that would be fine, but I don't know what the fight is over. And the American people are being used as leverage. I was at DCA today talking to passengers and again, trying to hear their stories. I think it's important for me to listen to them and hear them. And I was there, and we have a lot of disruptions that are taking place throughout the system. And I think it's unfair that the American traveler is being held hostage and used as leverage for a fight that I can't figure out what it's about.
Well, there's no doubt travelers are frustrated all over the country, and they don't see an end in sight yet, at least, Mr. Secretary. And we appreciate you coming on.
You're a brave person for going into the Lions Den like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.